Good morning. How's everybody doing today? So today we're switching it up. Today we're switching the whole thing up. Everything's being switched. And the very first thing we're switching is how the camera rolls. So right now, even though you don't realize it, we're backwards. Instead of looking at myself, I'm looking at the back of the camera. Because today I'm switching the entire channel up for one day only. Well, maybe not forever, but for at least this is the first time. And we're going to talk about joy and abundance. And the reason we're talking about joy and abundance in such a weird way is because I wanted you to understand that every day I get up and celebrate my life. Every day. I give thanks for my life every day, all the bad shit. If it was all good shit, then I wouldn't be learning anything. So the worse it is in my life, the more thanks I give. Remember, I said in a different video that you should always do something good. Well, there's a bunch of weird bad things that keep happening to me. So I keep doing a bunch of weird good things. So today I'm going to share my art with you. Today I'm going to share something that no matter who watches these videos, they cannot duplicate the smallest thing that you shall see today on the videos. And by doing so, I will prove a point that needs to be made. And the point that needs to be made is we are all very unique. We all have our own perspective on it. And if somebody else is mimicking your perspective, show them the whole perspective. See what they can do with it then. So here we go. I'm going to start with number one. So, welcome to my art. Welcome to an example of how I do art. And so we're going to take each piece and we're going to tear it apart a little bit and we're going to look at it. Oh, might have to do it at an angle. This, what you're looking at, is all acrylic paint. All of it. Every last bit. Acrylic paint. And as you get deeper, you can see there's weird layers to everything in the way that I do painting. I use symbolism and things of that nature. Now here's what's cool about my art. All my art has layers to it. What I mean by layers is there's different layers of colors to it. And even though you may be looking at one color, by simply switching the color that you see over it, it changes the whole thing. And I can't show you right now because I don't have a light, because unfortunately I don't have the money to have a light. But the other side of it is, if you come down here, you open up this little art drawer. You see these? These are chroma depth glasses. And chroma depth glasses make everything stand out. And these become 3D. There's a lot of interesting things to examine on a video like this. And of course, if you change it, it changes. Does anybody see the edge of the key? Anyways, that's the first one. And I'm going to do these in the order that I painted them, because I feel like you should get a chance to see the evolution of art from my own life. Now, the thing is when you paint, you're expressing, right? So how much expression do you want to make? How many layers do you put into thought? How much time do you spend contemplating each and every thought in your head? Me, I spend a long time. I spend most of my life thinking about things, thinking about people, thinking about the layers that make up life. And the thing with life is it doesn't make any sense. It never made any sense. It never will make any sense. If I can create some weirdness like this out of my imagination, then that means there's everything is possible within the world. And you go, why would you think that? Because I've never seen anybody create art like this before ever in my entire life. And because I wanted to see this art, I created it. And no matter how deep you get, you start to realize how many colors there are. And you start to see that just maybe it takes more than one color to make a color. Maybe by looking at this, you see that the idea that anything is stationary, that nothing moves. Well, look at this moving without existing. The idea of art is subjective to observation on whether or not it's beautiful, on whether or not it's weird, on whether or not it matters. I state to you that art is anything you find beautiful that you created. All right, so from there, we come to here. A lot of you maybe pay attention to astrology. This was my version of the full eclipse this year. And again, as I said, how deep can you get before you start to see the layers? Just like this looked like nothing until you get close enough to see the torches. And the ripples just like ripples until you get close enough to see the hand. Almost like there's a hand underneath the water. Anyway, I really, at some point, hope I can make a video with a multi-spectrum light so all of you can get a chance to see this separate. Because the separation of color takes it from 2D to 3D. I do hope you're enjoying my art. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy living in it. This next one we're going to leave right where it is because I can't really, can't really do anything about it. This is two pieces put together. To me, this is art in motion. And the thing is each side makes up half of the whole, right? And it's not until you get close that you can see the alligator. It takes a while to understand the fish and the flow of the fish's scales in the darkness. What's fun about this is based on the light spectrums it changes too. I use color changing paint as well. All acrylic. Everything's acrylic. Everything's out of control. See my octopus from another dimension? It's the idea for me. It's the idea of movement, of taking the idea of time and shifting it based on perception. Being willing to go as deep as you need to down the rabbit hole to be able to look. I just think that the idea of art being something other than expression is a waste of time. It's why I do surrealism. It's why I don't do photographs. It's why I don't do continual patterns. It's why I don't do other people's things. I just personally feel like art should be silly. And I express that art should be silly at all times and fun and weird and challenging. Now, if you stand back far enough and you use those two as the eyes and you unfocus and you use this line as the nose, doesn't it almost look like there's a face with its eyebrows right here? There's an actual face looking at you. Weird how that reflection is, yeah? So then last but not least, the one I'm currently working on. The current project. The current what it is. And I bet you've never seen anything like this before because I've gone out of my way to make sure there's no similarities to life. Now, I'm not done with this yet. I still have a long ways to go. Still many, many things to accomplish. I still have many layers to add to the top. Now, the fun part about this one is I used a lot of reflective paint. And I used a lot of paint that you can't really tell what's going on unless you get really close and look. And then when you start looking, you realize that you don't know what you were looking at, that it's changed. And it's just based on your perceptions. It's just based on your perception of color. Because you see, there are no real straight lines in the world. Not one. There's not one straight line in the world. And since there isn't, there are no straight lines in my art. There's no straight ideas. There's no straight concepts. Everything is based on wave function. None of it, in any way, shape, or form, is based on a pattern that you think is cool. None of the ideas that I present forth have anything to do with what you've seen or heard before. I stay off the trail. I stay off the trail. I stay off of anything that could cause me to loop back into a pattern in my life that I've already fixed. Art allows me to make decisions based on what I want to see in the world, not based on some falsehood of thinking I understand anything. I understand nothing. I don't even exist. None of us do. We're temporary thought processes in a very long thought process in life. We absolutely are nothing more than dust. And being dust, we're allowed to crayon in, color in the lines, if we will, in life. Seen it, watched it happen. I choose to be a creator. I choose to be an action in the world. I choose to be a positive action in the world. And I choose to fight tooth and nail to have that right to be free. I don't know what your guys' personal amazing gift that's going to blow my mind is, but I know you have at least one and probably 10. And I'll continue to talk about it, fight about it, argue about it, and create in every way that I can think of in this world just so I could be greedy and learn some new things that I would have never been able to come up with if you yourself wouldn't have come up with them. And I look forward to that day. And every day I wake up, I know it's another day. I'm going to see something new. All I have to do is just open the book up and look. And every day that I want to write in the book, I can do that. And I choose to take seriously writing in the book every day because I don't want to miss out on all the new stuff that's going to come along.